I do have a background in finances and the state of mind in which the American people are in and the need for a business like this because most people are behind. So basically, I'm just going to talk about a couple things, and that is SMART. Smart financial decisions impact the quality of your life. And we've got to start making smart financial decisions because it does impact the quality of our life. You see, Al, knowledge is something you learn, but wisdom is the ability to apply that knowledge to our everyday life. And that's what we need, is take that wisdom, that knowledge, and apply it to our everyday life. In fact, much of the population has been conditioned to shrink their mind with excuses of why they can't, rather than to expand their mind as to why they can. Being in the financial industry, I love studying human behavior when it comes to money and finances. Here's what I've found over the years, Al, is that most people are seeking opportunity for two things. One is time and money. But at the same time, they're allowing time and money to keep them from opportunity. And it's really interesting how our human behavior is set. And so, here's some statistics. 78% of the Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. 50% of the Americans cannot afford a $500 emergency. Here's a statistic that'll blow your mind. 33% of all bank revenues is overdraft fees. 33% overdraft fees. That's the state in which the American people are in. Is there not an opportunity to go out and change lives one at a time to help improve the quality? But you know what? They need education. They need someone to come in and help them. And a simple and powerful rule for financial freedom is this: when you work to build a system. If you work for money, you got to keep working for money. Look at today how many retirees work because they have to, not because they want to. And so that's why 5% of the American population control 95% of the wealth, is they went to work to build a system. Univera's built a wonderful system. Mr. Bill Lee, his vision, the leadership, the model, the science behind the product, it's a system, it's a model that if we work to build a system, it will automatically create wealth and change our lives. Now, what I really find and unique is that this business allows us to have the 3 rules of money. And not every business has that ability, and obviously not every job offers that. The first is cash flow. And we all get a job when we trade hours for dollars. We were taught to go to school and get an education. Nothing wrong with that. I believe in an education. But we know what the statistics are as a result of that. And so another thing is that it's not what you make, Al, it's what you keep. Now think about this. Write the word "the IRS" on a piece of paper. And it tells you what it means. It's theirs. The IRS thinks that what you make is their money. Now, I don't mind paying my share of taxes. I love America. Those that protect us, those that educate us, our infrastructure. But I'll tell you what, I don't want to overpay or pay twice. See, there's 2 tax rules, one for the informed, one for the underinformed. So let me ask you this. Have you ever paid tax on money you didn't want to? Well, of course. But let me ask you this. Have you ever paid tax on money you didn't have to? And I'll tell you, by being self-employed and having a business system and a model, Al, you know as well as I do, we have the ability to shave off 1/3 of our taxes. And you know what? You got to document properly, put it in the calendar. Where did you spend the money? Why did you spend the money? What was the purpose of it? Do it all legit. But I'm telling you what, how many would raise our hand, say, I'd love to cut my taxes by 1/3? And you, sir, are teaching us that. So it's not what you make, but it's what you keep. The second rule is what we call leverage. It's what the wealthy know how to do. They take the least amount to create the most. And so where can you do that? Well, real estate, stock options, life insurance. I've done all those. You've done them. But you know what? Another one is a business. Now, there's good businesses, there's bad businesses. But this is a business model. Remember, by financial freedom. is when you work to build a system. How can you go from a company of 1 to a company of 100? You can't do that in your job. I can't do that in my business. But in the Univera business, we can go from a company of 1 to a company of 100 or 1,000 and more, such as yourself. So let's assume I put in 5 hours a week, be very minimal. There's 100 people spending 5 hours a week. Well, now I have 505 hours of effort, and I only spent 5, but I'm getting paid on 505 hours of effort. Al, where do you get leverage? That's the system. That's what wealthy people do, is when they work to build a system. And so, you know what's interesting? If I was to take this piece of paper and fold it, would you agree I just doubled it in size? Absolutely. But can I see it? No. If I fold it again, it doubles, but it's hard to see. What if I fold it again? It will double. Maybe I'm starting to see it thicken up. But if I was to take this piece of paper and fold it to the 50th power, Al, it would go from my desk to the moon. And if I was able to fold it one more time, it would go from the moon all the way back to my desk. That's leverage, Al. That's the power of duplication. That's the business system. That's what Univera has created for us. Here's the third rule, and that is an exit strategy. It's either you at work or your money at work. Financial freedom has nothing to do with age. Social Security tells us full retirement, 66, 67, whatever it may be. No, baloney. Financial freedom is when you have enough passive residual income coming in that pays your bills. You're free, whatever the age. And that's for those that work to build a system, find freedom much earlier in life. And that's what this business has us to do. You know what the average retirement income is today? It's $1,329. Can you imagine what you must feel like at night knowing that your average income is $1,329? Al, you and I have an opportunity to change lives one at a time. And I'm telling you, if we could get a hold and take it from our heart or from our head to our heart, and from our heart, it shows up in our pocketbook of helping people. And $1,329 is not a lot per month. That's why a lot of people are still working. We talked about what income happens in this business. $5,000 a month. Doesn't take long to create that. Say it takes 12 months, 18, 24. Well, to have 60 grand a year, you need a portfolio of 600,000 at 10%, 1.2 million at 5. And now think about how quickly we can do that. That's leverage. And there's not a lot of companies out, but Univera is one that allows you to do all 3 of those money rules. And it allows us to do it within a system that has a tremendous culture of teamwork. You see, teamwork makes the dream work. Teamwork's the fuel that allows ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results.